So continuing with the COVID-related hard topic, the another one is the Asian hate movement and crimes that's going on right now in relation to COVID, which is very unfortunate, but that is the overall mood that a lot of Asian people are fearing at this moment. Have you guys experienced or felt anything like that at school?
I think the fact that many of our students weren't in school this year because of COVID, I didn't see any this year. We strongly believe that diversity is important. If you walk into our main entrance, there's a sign that says "Many Faces, One Community," and we preach that. We preach "Give respect to get respect" is one of our phrases that we use, and we believe that we should all live together. And in our school, I don't see it as a major problem at all. Are there issues sometimes? I guess maybe, but I think our students are different than what's going on in the rest of the world, because where we live and what we preach in our schools.
In preparation for this interview, I actually meet with my administrators after we meet as superintendents, and I asked them that question specifically: do we have any situations that we've addressed or dealt with or whatever? And they actually said, thankfully, no, we have not encountered that situation either. And I have to agree with Ed. I think that because our communities have embraced diversity so much, and again, this goes back to what I said earlier, because those walls are down and we just all work together as one group, I think that when you know people, that it's harder to hate them. You know each other as people, as individuals, and unfortunately, I think that hate comes out of not knowing someone. That's why it's so important for us to kind of break down the barriers that hold us within our own groups or whatever, and really interact with each other, because it's much more difficult to hate someone you know than to hate someone you don't know.
We had a Stop Korean Hate Night in Leonia.
Right, you gave a speech in there, right?
I did, yes, I did. My focus was ignorance creates hate. So if you are ignorant of another culture, you have a better opportunity to hate them. Right. So ignorance creates hate. The more education we can give our students and our parents too, I think the better the community will be as a whole. And I think education is important, and understanding of our different cultures. Why do we celebrate Lunar New Year? Why do we celebrate, or why do our Muslim populations celebrate Eid? Why is Good Friday called Good Friday when it's one of the most solemn days of the Christian and Catholic year? So ignorance creates hate. Hate is built on ignorance, and as a result, there's problems. But I think in our school communities, we're so diverse, and we have to accept our students, and our teachers build that relationships with our students to create an atmosphere where everyone's accepted.
Probably pretty well balanced groups, and the more people get involved in their school communities and their communities at large, I think that the less hate we will have.
Right.
It's always good when you walk into the cafeteria during a normal school year, and you don't see the whites sitting here, the Asians sitting here, the Hispanics. Right. You see the band people sitting here. You see the kids on the volleyball team sitting together. So it's not white, black, Asian, Hispanic. It's what team they're on or what activity they're in. That's the important part, and when that happens, it's a good thing.
That is so good to know. And also, I think the school is actively promoting diversity as well through the club and other activities as well, right?
I don't think you have this. We have this up. I'm going to tell you something.
God, tell me I'm going to steal it.
We have a very important day in our school year called We Are All Americans Day. And it is it's the Friday before Memorial Day weekend. And the premise is that we are obviously very diverse. And we have different activities for our cultures from our homeland, but then we come under the umbrella that we are all Americans. So we bring our veterans to speak to our students about patriotism and what it is to be American. So whether or not you're here for a month, a year, or 3 generations, we are all one.
No, but I've been in schools that have international night. So where everybody brings a food from their own ethnicity, and then everybody comes, you share food, you have music, and everybody just gets together. It's a big party to celebrate diversity. But this year we actually, in Ridgefield, we started 2 different diversity clubs. At the middle school level and at the high school level, and we added a gay straight alliance, because really it's just about loving each other, really, and being kind. You know, one of the administrators said to me when she knew I was coming here, you know, we're all humans, we need to be kind to each other. And I think that, you know, we have to model that and we have to promote that. And at any opportunity, whether it be we are all Americans or International Night or again in the orchestra, we just have to promote, we have to get to come together as human beings and just care for each other.
Right. Well, along the same line, now that a lot of Asian community and Korean community are aware that there are a lot of movement going on and there's a lot of active role that we can take. Is there any advice that you can give us? Is there anything that we can do to get rid of, we probably cannot get rid of it, but to represent more of the Asian people as a human being, as American, or as the people who live amongst
My advice
all
would be
of
a
us,
little
right?
different. Don't remain quiet if there's a problem.
Right.
If a student's being harassed or bullied, or if there's slurs being thrown out,
Right.
don't accept it. Report it to a school official, and we will deal with it strongly. And that's not just for the Asian community, but for any student in our building. So that's my advice I would give. And I think being active in school and being part of our community, but in both schools, that's the way it is. So
Yeah.
I think just remain active in your building.
And
in your
continue
schools.
being, you know, you have a wonderful culture, you know, that I've experienced, the Korean culture. You have a wonderful culture, just be so willing to share. You know, and that's what I love about our Korean Parents Association, that we're so fortunate to have one, is they are so willing to share their culture and you know, do different activities and stuff around that culture. I mean, just be willing to share, because the more we know, the more people who aren't Korean understand the culture and the, you know, the background and so forth. That's what promotes growth and understanding and integration, and get involved. I would understand, you know, it's very understanding to not want to put yourself out there when this is going on in the world, but you know, this may be a time when in the right situation you do put yourself out there as a Korean and get involved and, you know, let people know you and love you.
I was very proud of our Korean students, Korean American students that spoke at the night. They were the leaders of the event, and they spoke very strongly about getting rid of hate, about the Korean culture, and about being part of the community. They did a wonderful job.
Thank you so much for your advice. If there's anything that you would like to add last minute,
I appreciate the opportunity, certainly.
I appreciate the opportunity as well, and I would just say to anybody who's out there watching or listening, always feel free to reach out to any one of us. I mean, if you go on the Ridgefield Schools website, my email address is there. There's a phone number for my office. Don't be afraid to reach out and just share your thoughts and so forth, whether it's coming to a board meeting or just sending me an email or whatever. I mean, we're here. We're here for you. We're here for all of our students, right?
Certainly.
thank you so much for coming.
Thanks
Thank
again.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.